guys, so it is the next day and we're gonna pull this action out. Okay, you can see last night how I got this cleaned up. Pretty good right here. Okay, I got a little small air bubble right there that I'm hoping that'll probably clean up. Looks good through here, all the way in through here. No issues. A little bit of cleanup. One thing I'm hoping you guys are noticing is how much the cleanup that I did on this barreled action here, okay? This is gonna make it a whole heck of a lot easier to get it out. So the cleanup is pretty important, all right? So when you guys are bedding, always think of that, make sure if you have the time to clean up, which you should, always, make sure you get all that stuff cleaned up as best you can, because it's just going to make it easier on yourself. So, all right, so I'm going to take this out. I'm going to show you guys how to use the action puller, and we'll get this stock cleaned up. Okay, guys, so how you're going to use this tool right here is you're talking about leverage, okay? So this is gonna go inside the action, and this is gonna go like that, okay? And this is gonna lift it up. We're gonna apply torque to it, all right? So what you do is you slide this in here, into your action, okay? You take this and slide it into that slot, all right? Get in your slot like that. This goes on top of it, okay? And something I want to do quick before we take it up is put some tape on this stock. And say here again, this is a composite stock, I would worry this, because we would be painting it, but since this one's finished. So you take this now and you put on top right there, get it so it's up on the stock, so you got some leverage. You got your pin right here, okay, that you're gonna screw into this. Okay, starts getting some pressure. And you start twisting on it. And as you can see, it's starting to lift up. Now, all I do when I do that is just enough to where it starts to lift up out of there. As soon as it does that, I'm good. Okay, I'm just trying to basically get it so that it just, the bedding compound breaks away, or the barreled action breaks away from the bedding compound. Okay, I'm not gonna chip out, I'm not having to bang on the barrel or anything like that. I'm not trying to get, banging on a bench or something, all things I've seen done. You're just trying to get the lift up out of there, okay? You're trying to get your barreled action to lift. Once you hear that little tink that comes out of it, I don't know if you guys heard that, but once you hear that, it's ready to come out. And then it just walks right up out of there, just like that, okay? So let's take a look at this real quick and see what our bedding looks like. And our bedding looks pretty good. What's this right here? That's tape residue. I think that's tape residue. Yeah, it's tape residue right there. Through here looks pretty good. It's our step. It's good. This is all gonna clean up through here. All cleans up. So I got a chip out like right here, but that's not a big deal. That's here in the back in the tang. So what's important is right here, okay? This is what's important, right here in the recoil lug, okay? Holding this camera here. The recoil lug here is what's really important. Okay, you can't really see that, but the recoil lug looks perfect, no issues. Okay, so we're gonna drill all this out and we'll get back. Okay guys, so now I'm holding the camera with my hands, I can kind of do a better analysis here. So the bedding looks good, okay? Bedding looks really good. So this is all normal that we've got through here. Okay, this is all stuff that we're gonna clean up. Okay, it's all things I'm gonna take over to my mill and clean all this stuff up, okay? So all of this clay right here, we're gonna take out. All through here, everything's gonna, you know, this looks really good right through here, okay? So one thing I wanna mention is that when you guys use your tool to remove your stock, make sure your stock pin comes out first, because otherwise you're gonna have a bunch of leverage, too much leverage, and it's not gonna come out, okay? So this right here with the recoil lug, as I mentioned before, is what's most important. This area right here, okay? So all this up through here is basically just for looks, okay? Now, this is pretty thin up through here, right up in here. So I'm gonna take my end mill and I'm gonna take all this stuff out. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna start cleaning this up, okay? So you guys can see what that looks like. All right, so I'm not gonna show you the whole process. I mean, this is all basically mill work from this point on. You know, you turn this, I'll do a quick little shot of when the stock's in the vise for my mill to clean this up. But all this mill work and stuff it's all, you know, you guys are moving along pretty good. It's pretty basic stuff, and it's stuff you should be able to do. You're basically just going to take your mill, your end mill, ball end mill, whatever. You're going to take all this stuff out because this is hollow up here, okay? So there's no point in leaving that in there. So you're going to take all this out. But if this was a composite stock, this is what it would look like, okay? It would look just like that. It would be, you know, that's what you'd have, this nice composite stock that you're going to paint, and this beautiful bedding job in through here, okay? So I'm not going to get into the whole part of where I'm cleaning out all this up and whatnot and showing you guys all that. I'm just going to take it. Basically, I'm going to take it over to my mill. I'm going to drill these holes out here, open these up, and after I do that, I will explain it to you later when we're finished of why I did that. And take this out right through here and basically just get this whole thing all prepped, finished, done. Okay, for you know, putting the rifle back together. After I finish this part up here and clean this up and open these holes up right through here, and I'll do a function test. You know, I put the bottom metal back in and make sure everything works, and then it's ready for paint. You know, it's ready to, you know, go in and have that my barreled action all Duracoated, okay? So I'm gonna go put this in the mill. I'll do a quick little shot of how I set the mill up, and then I'm gonna clean it up, all right? Okay guys, so I hope you can see this here, but you can see I've got the stock in the vise. Okay, I've got my leather pads here, which are protecting the stock, by the way. You should invest in that whenever you're doing any type of gunsmithing stuff, especially on the mill. And I've got a 1/4 inch, 4 inch end mill, okay? So how I do this, how I line up these holes, because I want these holes to be pretty straight when I do it, is I basically line up the 1/4 inch end mill, which is pretty much right over that hole, okay? And then I come back with a larger end mill, okay? And I just drop that hole straight down, okay? And then I move over to this one right here, okay? So, you know, this end mill too is something, you know, you guys should get. It's about a 6 inch long end mill, and it makes cleaning up these stocks pretty easy. When I get ready to start cleaning up those, I'll get that up in there as well. So that's basically what we do. We're gonna open up this screw hole here. That's a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna open it up to about 3/8. So that'll give my screw, my action screws plenty of clearance between the stock, and will limit any vibrations, okay? So I'm gonna drill these out and we'll get back. Okay guys, this is it. It is cleaned up. So I've cleaned up all the millwork here, all the wax, all that gunk's out of there. Trigger well has been opened up. Mag box has been opened up. Whole action screws have been opened up. And you can see right there how that action on my bottom metal, okay, so I got my bottom metal in there, right? And you can see right there how centered up those are, and there's no way that those action screws are going to touch any part of the stock, okay? Very important. Same thing up here on the front one, even more so up on this one. There's no way that the action screws are going to touch any part of that stock whatsoever. There's no vibration carried in there whatsoever. So that's a pretty big deal. That's, say, right in this area right there, that's a big deal as far as the accuracy goes. Okay, so that's something you really got to pay attention to, is opening those up. But so you get in your mill, I mean, you could probably do this with a Dremel, you know, probably take longer. But, you know, this is pretty good. This is decent right here. I would grade this on myself probably about a B or so, just because of some of the chip outs up in there. But the cleanup and whatnot's pretty good. This right here, because I know that you guys are going to ask, when it was not filled with all epoxy bedding or anything like that. This was all wax in here. Okay, it's my Johnson's Paste Wax right there was what I filled in through here, and it chipped right out. I was able to clean this up pretty easily. Okay, so you just basically drop your end mill down in here, bring it over to you, touch the wood or composite if it's the case, and just run it up here and bring it in through here. So pretty, you know, this isn't as in-depth of a demo as I like to get. It is pretty good, but that is basically how you're going to bed this stock, okay? Bed any stock is the same thing, just like we did right there, okay? So we'll go over more in lecture on Monday, more of the finer details I'll get into, but this is pretty good. This is exactly what I'm looking for when I'm bedding a rifle, something just like this, okay? All right, guys, so talk to you tomorrow.